Welcome to stage 11 of Vuelta 22. We're almost at the halfway stage of this year's race, and Remco Evenepoel has a sizable lead after dominating yesterday's time trial. The Belgian should have an opportunity to recharge his batteries today, with the sprinters taking centre stage. Mads Pedersen is the hot favourite to win the green jersey after Sam Bennett pulled out of Vuelta, but the Dane still wants that elusive stage victory. With opportunities few and far between, he and his fellow fastmen will be keeping a close eye on the day's breakaway.
Right now we will go for that stage win. I'm not the only sprinter, so if the other guys want to win the sprint, they also have to help. So I expect some other teams to help as well to control the race today.
Even without the double stage winner Bennett, there are plenty of contenders for victory this afternoon.
I think it suits me quite well. It's not technical, so it should be more of a fast leg sprint. There's also other teams that have lost some good guys as well, with Sam Bennett out and Jake Stewart, for example. So there's not too many sprinters left, and we're going to see how we go.
I'm really disappointed because finally Sam was back and I could deliver him really well, and now he's home. So, but yeah, we try to switch on a positive side. Also, it's difficult, but yeah, then we go for me.
J'ai l'impression que ça va de mieux en mieux dans cette Vuelta, malgré le dernier week-end qui a été difficile. Je m'en suis plutôt pas mal sorti. Je pense que tout le monde avait besoin de récupérer. Cette journée de repos et le contre-la-montre ont fait du bien. Voilà, oui, c'est une occasion. On va essayer de saisir notre chance, parce qu'il n'y en a pas eu beaucoup et il n'y en aura pas beaucoup après. Donc c'est important de bien figurer aujourd'hui.
Stage 11 is a flat outing of 191.2 kilometres, starting in the Murcia region and heading to Cabo de Gata, southeast of Almeria. The wind could be a factor heading down the coast, but if teams like Trek Segafredo, Alpecin de Koenig and Bike Exchange Jayco keep the breakaway on a tight leash, it is almost guaranteed to end in the bunch sprints. Well, 3 riders from the Spanish wildcard teams went up the road early, so an ideal situation for the sprint teams. They only gave them a small gap, but the pace was fairly leisurely, around 38 kilometres an hour. The different sprint teams, Trek, Alpecin, Bike Exchange and Arkea Samsic, putting a man each on the front of the pack. Well, 2 of the riders in today's breakaway have already been on the move at this Vuelta. Jetse Bol from Burgos BH was in the break on stage 2, while Johan Bou of Euskaltel Euskadi got in there on stage 4, even taking the polka dot jersey. They were joined by Wojtek Repa, a talented young Czech rider on the Kern Pharma team. The 22-year-old finished 5th at this year's Tour of Slovenia, won by Tadej Pogačar. The gap was soon down to under 2 minutes, and meanwhile the wind was really starting to blow. But none of the teams in the bunch seemed interested in trying to force splits. They also didn't want to catch the breakaway too early. So the peloton just easing off the pace a little bit. This was turning into a real recovery day for many riders. That was good news for the race leader Evenepoel, who's put in some big efforts over the past few days. He'd already been looking forward to a quieter outing after blitzing his way through yesterday's time trial.
For sure, after an all-out effort of 34 minutes, 33 minutes, you really do feel the legs, because it's a day of big focus and a bit of stress as well. So I think it's a perfect day to get the body a bit relaxed more again and try to recover from yesterday and for tomorrow's stage, of course.
But it's sometimes on the quieter days that riders get caught out. In the breakaway, Repa went to ground on a fairly harmless-looking bend. Luckily, there was no major damage done. However, there were far more serious consequences when Julian Alaphilippe crashed a few minutes later. The world champion has had a nightmare season, and it looks like this may be the end of it. He had to abandon the race with a suspected shoulder injury.
An attack, and Jetse Bol has decided that he's had enough of sitting around with these 2 riders, and Bol now goes up the road.
Bol going solo heading into the final 50 kilometres, with Bou and Repa soon swallowed up by the peloton. And the riders also had to contend with the heat today. The temperatures soaring to almost 40 degrees Celsius in southern Spain. Bol, the day's most aggressive rider, was soon in the peloton's crosshairs. The Dutchman was caught with 26k to go. Next up was the intermediate sprint around 10 kilometres from the line. Pedersen helping himself to 20 points with nobody really putting him under any pressure. It would be a different story for the stage victory though, the pace really increasing on the long, straight run-in.
Here goes the sprint now. Team of Bike Exchange. The move on the right-hand side. They've got 300 metres to go. Still Bike Exchange with Caden Groves right in the wheel of Kel O'Brien. Big move on the right-hand side with David Cole as they make their switch. Here we go now with Pascal Ackermann. Ackermann fires. Pascal Ackermann. Huge attack by him. Dan McClay challenges as well. Caden Groves. Caden Groves. It's Groves on the line. Caden Groves wins for Bike Exchange, Jacob.
Caden Groves comes of age at La Vuelta, taking his first Grand Tour stage win at the age of 23. The Australian has already picked up a couple of wins this year on the Tour of Catalonia and on the Tour of Turkey. This is the 9th victory of what is shaping up to be a promising career, with Groves off to Alpecin-Deceuninck next year. It will also provide some consolation for Bike Exchange after the loss of their GC leader, Simon Yates.
Feels fantastic. This morning with the news of Simon going positive for COVID, all the boys pretty disappointed, and I think it's the best way to bounce back after such bad news. So I'm really happy to celebrate, but I also wish he was here, as he's part of this team. And being my first Grand Tour win, for sure takes the cake. It's been a really good year. I'm super happy to get a win here already, and there's still more stages to come.
Groves winning ahead of Danny van Poppel, who is decidedly more than just a lead-out man. Tim Merlier third, with Juan Sebastian Milano taking an impressive 4th place ahead of Pedersen. Evenepoel remains on top overall, and with Yates and Pavel Sivakov pulling out this morning, Ben O'Connor and Timon Arensman move into the top 10. Pedersen may not have got his stage win, but he increased his lead in green. He's now over 100 points clear of Evenepoel, with Groves up to 8th. Jay Vine is still the king of the mountains. There were no points on offer today. And Evenepoel is still the best young rider, of course, but it wasn't a great day for Quick-Step with the loss of Julian Alaphilippe. There's a bit of a change of scenery tomorrow as we head across the Malaga province. It's a hockey stick stage, mostly flat for 170 kilometres before a nasty summit finish on Peñas Blancas. However, will anybody be able to put Evenepoel under pressure?